12 years. 12 years of bleeding that wouldn't stop. 12 years of doctors who took her money and made her worse. 12 years of being called unclean, untouchable, cursed. And in a single moment, one desperate touch, everything changed. This is the story of the woman nobody wanted near them. The woman who broke every rule to reach Jesus. And a healing that happened when faith met desperation. She woke up bleeding. Again, just like yesterday. Just like 4,380 days before that. 12 years. The bleeding had started normal. A monthly cycle that simply never stopped. At first, she thought it would pass. Then weeks became months. Months became years. And the years stole everything. Her money went first. Doctor after doctor. Physician after physician. They took her coins and gave her remedies that burned. Potions that poisoned. Treatments that made the bleeding worse. Mark's gospel says it plainly. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. Broke, suffering, dying slowly. But the bleeding took more than her money. It took her life. Under Jewish law, a woman with a flow of blood was ceremonially unclean. She couldn't go to the temple, couldn't worship with her community, couldn't touch anyone, because anyone she touched became unclean too. She hadn't felt a hug, hadn't held a hand, hadn't felt human contact without someone recoiling in disgust. Isolation, shame, whispers when she walked by, invisible in a crowd because people literally looked away. She was dying, physically, socially, spiritually, and then she heard about him. Jesus was coming to her town. The rumors had been spreading for months. A teacher, a healer, a man who touched lepers and they became clean, who spoke to the dead and they walked out of tombs, who looked at sinners with love instead of contempt. The crowds were gathering, pressing toward the shore where his boat would land. Everyone wanted to see him, touch him, ask him for something. She knew she shouldn't go. Unclean women didn't push into crowds. She would defile everyone she brushed against. She could be stoned for it, beaten, shamed, but years of suffering had burned away her fear of what people thought. She had one thought, one desperate, impossible thought. If I can just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Not even him, just his clothes. That's how far shame had pushed her. She didn't dare approach him directly, didn't dare speak to him, didn't dare believe she deserved his attention. She just wanted to get close enough to touch the edge of his garment without him noticing. She wrapped her cloak tight, hiding her face, and she went. The crowd was suffocating. Thousands of people pressed toward Jesus from every direction, shouting, pushing, desperate. She pushed into the mass of bodies. Someone shoved her. She stumbled, got up, kept moving, closer. Bodies pressed against her. She was defiling them with every contact, but they didn't know. She pushed deeper, and then she saw him. 20 feet away, 10 feet, 5. She dropped to her knees. The crowd surged above her, feet everywhere. She crawled forward, dirt under her fingernails, people stepping over her, around her. She reached out, stretched her hand between the legs of the crowd, and she touched the fringe of his garment, just the edge, the tassels that hung from his robe. And immediately, the bleeding stopped. She felt it, a warmth, a surge of wholeness. The constant ache vanished. The weakness disappeared. The hemorrhaging stopped as if it had never been. She gasped. Tears filled her eyes. She pulled her hand back, trying to slip away into the crowd unnoticed. She had what she came for. She could disappear now, healed and anonymous. But then Jesus stopped walking. Who touched me? The disciples looked at him like he'd lost his mind. Peter actually laughed. Master, the people are crowding and pressing against you. And you ask, who touched me? Hundreds of people were touching him, pushing against him, grabbing at his robes. But Jesus knew this touch was different. Someone touched me. I know that power has gone out from me. Power. Healing power. It had left him, pulled out by someone's faith. He stopped, turned, began looking through the crowd. Searching. The woman realized, he's looking for me. She could have stayed hidden, could have slipped away, but she had been hiding for years, living in shadows, touching in secret. Not anymore. She came forward, trembling, fell at his feet, and in front of the entire crowd, the crowd that would have condemned her minutes ago, she told him everything. Why she had touched him, how long she had been suffering, what happened the moment she made contact. The crowd went silent. This unclean woman had been touching them, defiling them. She had broken the law by being here at all. They waited for Jesus to rebuke her, to call her out for her presumption. Instead, he said this, "Daughter, daughter, not woman, not unclean one, daughter." For 12 years, no one had called her by a term of endearment. No one had claimed her as family. She was outcast, untouchable, cursed, and Jesus called her daughter. Then he said, "Your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." 3 things in that sentence that changed everything. Your faith, it wasn't just his power. It was her faith that released it. Her desperate, reaching, rule-breaking faith. Healed you, he declared her clean. Publicly. No more isolation. No more shame. She could return to society, to the temple, to life. Go in peace. She had known nothing but anxiety and suffering. Now, peace. Complete. Belmano. She stood, still trembling, but not from fear anymore. From joy. From relief. From wholeness. The crowd parted as she walked away. But this time, not in disgust. In awe. Maybe your issue isn't blood. Maybe it's anxiety that won't stop. Depression that steals your joy. Shame that keeps you isolated. An addiction you can't break. A past you can't escape. The duration doesn't matter. The suffering does. Here's what this story teaches. Jesus doesn't heal perfect faith. He heals desperate faith. The woman didn't have perfect theology. She thought the power lived in his clothes, that if she could just touch the fabric, it would work like medicine. She didn't fully understand yet that it was his compassion, not his garment, that heals. But her faith was real. Her desperation was honest. Her courage pushed through shame. And that's what Jesus responded to. She came crawling. She came hidden. She came with the wrong approach. And Jesus stopped everything for her, called her daughter, gave her not just healing, but dignity. You don't have to have it all together to come to Jesus. You don't have to approach him the right way. You don't have to wait until you're worthy. Come disperate, come crawling. Come however you can. Just touch him. The power is still there. The healing is still available. And he's still stopping for people who reach for him in faith. These stories matter. If this one spoke to you, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. We're bringing more encounters with Jesus to life through animation. Stories of desperate people meeting a compassionate Savior. Because maybe someone you know needs to hear, Jesus still stops for the desperate. He still calls outcasts daughter. He still heals when faith reaches out.